Hello, everyone. Good morning, everybody out there. It's a pleasure to talk to you this morning. I am glad to be coming before before everyone. Actually, if you are seeing this video, I am recording it earlier than the usual time. We're supposed to begin at 7 o'clock UK time, but we decided to do it earlier, all because we needed to achieve a few things, and there are and we needed to to quickly we don't want to miss this this broadcast. Good morning, everybody joining me. I'm glad that I can still see a few people. Hi, Prince. Hi, Ka. It's a pleasure seeing you here on the platform. It's great. Um, Hello, Proscovia. Ad Akayondo Ada. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, but I'm glad you are joining us here. It's a pleasure having you here on the platform. Um, yes, it's been cold. The cold is coming so much here in the UK, and we are trying to keep warm. I guess because I'm in the if not because I'm in the house, I would have been putting something much more thicker, to prevent me from getting cold. Yes, so it's yeah. Last week we introduced what we'll be doing uh for the weeks that is ahead of us, and we let us know what the topic is. We were treating understanding life, and this and last week we introduced the topic, and we just try to look at how different people understand life. We just to do a cap of it. We looked at different ways people see life. We see that, for example, as youths out there, they look at life as something that is enjoyable. So if it is not enjoyable, it is not life. All right. Hello, everybody joining us. Um, it's a pleasure having you here on the platform. I just want to um encourage you as much as you can to share this video, and to let people try to understand what life is all about. So thank you for joining us, Isaac Ernest, Tenua, Isaac Ernest, and Barungi Clement. All right. So as I was saying, several people look at life in from different angles, and that is something that is is worth thinking about. There are several times in life that we look at life from different angles. I guess probably from the absurdities of life, or probably from the misunderstandings, the challenges of life, the the good the things that really affect us, that makes us to sit down and question our real existence, question the life that is around us, question the events, the the challenges that is around us. We try to find meaning to life. So I guess I am already pouring out what I wanted to really dissect, but it's good. Let's start it out this way. Yeah. So last week we gave several examples. For example, we talked about how singles see life, right? Singles, as well as you, see life as being pleasurable, and you know especially if you're in their younger age. Okay. And when they look at life, they look at life from the perspective of the fact that they want to realize themselves, they want to enjoy themselves, they want to belong to a group or a class, they want to show off, they want to um, taste different things, they want to feel, they want to experience, they want to, you know, they want to explore. All right. So there are several of them try to look at life from the perspective of them gaining understanding, them gaining, you know, gaining meaning, meaning to life. But at the same time, they want to enjoy the most of it. That's why even when they are going wrong, those who are careless will say, well, it doesn't matter. I want to live my life the way I see it, or they want to say, well, it is not your life, it's mine. So why don't you mind yours? Okay. So several people have different ways at which we see life. Now, if you saw the picture that we used in putting the notification about or announcement about the topic for today, you would see the figure that the artist drew, who was critically in thought, doing something like this, and critically, and the heads bowed down, deep in thought. All right. Many of us have come to that point in life where we had to separate ourselves or seclude ourselves and have a deep thought about our existence and the existence of life itself. All right, we've tried to find a meaning. We've tried to look at life from different angles. Life has challenged us. Maybe when we were growing up, we thought that life was something that we understood. Then when we got to certain levels or a certain age or certain situations or scenarios, we saw a different aspect of life entirely. And that got us thinking. I'm sure that many of us are familiar with this time of our life, or probably some of us are actually going through some things that is making us to question what life is. But that is the reason why we are doing this live podcast, to gain understanding of life. Now, the person speaking to you here is not a scholar, neither is he someone who has gained so much wealth of experience. But I have a little knowledge, and I like to share my knowledge and my experience with you, having understood, you know, through books, having understood through life experience and challenges, having understood through wisdom as well. So yes, it is going to be really interesting if we all work together. So if you are benefiting from what I'm sharing, if you want to add to it, if you want to share, if you want to, please write your comment in the comment section, and we can look at life together critically, so that we can benefit from it all. Yes. Today we're looking at what is life to begin with. What is life? What is life? Yeah. So let's try to look at it carefully. Uh, if we look at life from different angles, we will see that life, you know, is it's not something that we can easily find a definition or you know, find answers quickly, because to look at that question is to go into, you know, a, a to go into a point or a period of rumination, a period where you try to think, a period where you shut out every other thing that is going on in your mind and you try to focus your attention on one main and major thing that pulls everything together. So if you are working on your computer, for example, for those who use the computer, if you have opened a main site, all right, and while you're surfing that site, you have opened several what's it called, boxes, several other parts of that site, all right. You will see that there are many pictures that are coming to you, okay. But the moment you open up, you first say, wait a minute, where am I coming from? Where is what is the main site about? You want to go back to the introductory page, right? That is the kind of thing that we do when we want to find out what is life. That's what goes on in our minds, okay. Now, so that is, and everybody, every one of us, whether we are adults, whether we are youths, whether we are singles, whether we are married, men, women, boys and girls, we often come to this point. And the reason why we do come to this point is because the human being is being built, is being designed to think. That's why we have our brains, We try to think, we try to evaluate, we try to assess, we try to gain understanding, because we are not like animals. Animals live instinctively. Animals live according to their hunger, according to their thirst, according to their feelings, all right? But as human beings, we are quite different because we have our brains. We try to conceptualize, we try to understand, we try to assess, we try to dissect, we try to look at different kinds of things and find meaning to them, so that by the time we are approaching next time, we will be able to call it, to say it as it is. We'll be able to understand it from the very way we have assessed it, okay. At some point in time, what people understand to be light is when the sun comes up. What people understand to be light is when they see fire and there's a glow, all right, in the night, okay. But people have sat down, they have thought, they have tried to find meaning to life, and they have come to the point where they see light as not only the sun or the fire. They have seen light also to be illumination and understanding as well, okay. So it's as a result of thought. Science tells us that human beings began to live in the past as cavemen, all right. They live in caves. Their technology then was using stones, and wood, okay, all right. And they tried to use this technology to apply to different things. So they call it the Stone Age men, all right. So you cannot compare the thought of the Stone Age men to the thought of the 21st century man, all right. There's a clear difference, okay. But nevertheless, whether you are in the Stone Age or whether you are in the 21st century, we still think. But the point is that we think differently. Okay, and we try to rationalize, try to rationalize what we are experiencing. So now, what is life? If you try to look at it critically, you know, sometimes life is often conflicted with what is the meaning of life. What is life? And what is the meaning of life? They look similar, but they are quite different. All right? They look similar, but they are quite different. So I'll start from first. What is the meaning of life? You know, and then I'll try to let me start first with what is life, and then I'll go into what is the meaning of life. Hello, Nasrul Islam. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here on the platform. So actually, this is not the right time we are beginning out. I think I'm saying this for the third time so that people will really understand what we are doing. We actually supposed to begin at 7, but we want to do this because I will not be available at 7, and so that we can benefit from it all. Yeah. So, what is life? When we say what is life, this refers to what life consists of. That is the total makeup, of what life is all about. When we are looking at the question, what is life? We try to look at the whole concept of life. We try to look at what it consists. What are the parts? What are the different things that life consists of? All right. What is life? When we say what is life, we try to summarize, all these parts into something that we can really understand. Okay. Now, but when we say what is the meaning of life, we look at not just not what it consists of, but we look at life. What is the value of life? We look at what is the worth of life. We look at what is the relevance, what is the significance of life. Okay, so so you can see there are similarities between the two questions. What is life? What is the meaning of life? But the question, but if you want to really differentiate them, it is well differentiated when we are in a situation. Okay, so when we open our minds to look at the question, we think it's the same. But when we are at a particular point, a particular situation, we will not be able to look at it squarely. I mean, not able to look at it, as a whole. But we will ask that question, what is life, because of what we are going through. All right? So for example, all your life, for those who are married now, all your life, probably you have been told that life as a married person is cool, is lovely, is beautiful, is enjoyable. Oh, it is rosy. It is So of course, that was the mindset you had before you got married, okay? But after the honeymoon, after a few months, the clear picture begins to come to play. You now begin to see, because the heat, of the relationship begins to come up, and then you begin to question what the whole essence of life is. Now you're looking at that question from your own particular situation, your own particular perspective, your own particular situation. And the main thing here is that you will not be able to look at life from different perspective. Okay, you'll only be able to relate to life because of what you are going through. Now, I have only given an example of someone who has a mindset that, he now experiences something that conflicts his mindset. Okay, now several other people in different situations will ask that question, what is life? Now what they are asking is, what is the meaning of life? What is the relevance? What is the significance? What is the worth? What is the value of life? If, for example, if I'm going through, why did I need to get married, for example? Why did I need to go to school when I know that I won't get a job? Why did I need to travel abroad when I will still be working as working as a slave? All right. Why do I need to vote when I know that my vote will not count? Several kinds of questions. We are trying to look at the relevance, trying to look at the essence, trying to look at the value, the worth of life. That is the meaning of life. But that is not what life is actually. So that's why I said the topic alone, it looks simple, but it can be also difficult if you look at it carefully. All right. Now, she's still talking about what is the meaning of life. I want to draw understanding from uh, from a book of wisdom, and that is the Bible. Okay. Now, if you look at the book of Ecclesiastes, we call it the book of Ecclesiastes, you will see from chapter 1 that the preacher there began to look at what life is questioningly, began to scrutinize what life is. Okay, and in the process, he said several things. Now, you listen to what I'll be reading, and you will see that what he was saying, is just exactly what I'm trying to also explain, but he says it much more better. Book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 2 says, it is useless. Useless, said the philosopher. Life is useless. All useless. You spend your life working, laboring, and what do you have to show for it? Now, that is from verse 2, verse 3. Okay? Now, that question, is a question that is coming from situations. Okay? Somebody who has experienced something. Okay? So he said, you spend your life working, laboring, but at the end of the day, you have nothing to show for it. Okay? Now, so many of us have asked ourselves this question, especially many of us in Africa. Why is it that I work so hard? All right? And at the end of the day, everything just goes. It's like the wind blew them away. So it is like a waste. I labor so hard to achieve, to acquire. I strive. I try to make sure that I get a lot of money, but at the end of the day, I can't hold on to it. Challenges come, problems come, that I have to spend the money. At the end of the day, I go back to square one. I go back to enslave myself again. It's the same for those who are abroad as well. We travel abroad, thinking, okay, it is much more better there. But the truth is, it is not much more better. It is the same. we struggle so hard. You work so hard, and at the end of the day, back to zero. You have to go back the rat race again. All right? And then you ask yourself that meaningful question: what is life? What is life? What is the meaning of life? Okay? So I continue to read what Ecclesiastes says. Verse 4 says, generations come and generations go, but the world stays just the same. Now, listen to this. It says, the sun still rises and it still goes down, going wearily back to where it must start all over again. The wind blows south, the wind blows north, round and back again. Every river flows into the sea, but the sea is not yet full. The water returns to where the river began and starts all over again. Everything leads to weariness. A weariness too great for words. Can you imagine? Everything's like in cycles. For example, you are laboring from morning till night. You try to rest at the weekend. Okay, what have I achieved? Well, how much money have I made? Suddenly problem comes, challenges comes, needs come, hunger comes. You have to feed your family. You have to do this, you have to do that. Before you know it, everything is gone, and you go back again. You see, so it is like in cycles. It is like in cycles, and then you come to that point where you say, "What is the meaning of life?" Okay. Now, he used time and seasons. He used things that we can relate with, to explain or to ask that same question. Okay. Now I continue. He said from verse 9, what has okay, verse 8, it says everything leads to weariness. A weariness too great for words. Our eyes can never see enough to be satisfied. Some time ago, I say, what is wrong with all these tourists? They call themselves tourists. They want to travel all around the world. What are they looking for? They're trying to look all around the world. Okay, this place is nice. This place is beautiful. This place is not that beautiful, but there is something. They are looking for something. They are trying to satisfy their heart, trying to satisfy their mind, trying to satisfy in their what's it called um, their their senses, satisfy their thoughts, and you see, but they don't get enough. They traveled this year, they come back, say, wow, it was nice, it was beautiful, it was a great trip, it was da, 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 da. But after a few more weeks, they want to go back again and do the same. The eyes is not yet satisfied. Okay, I want to give this practical example for us men who are out there. For many men, for those who are looking for uh, spouses, for example. Okay, they see beautiful ladies, you know, light colors, dark colors, different shapes and sizes, different voices, different, you know, behaviors and things like that. You see this one today, they see that one tomorrow, and they are confused, all because, their eyes, wants to see more and more and more. And the reason why they cannot get settled to marry someone is because they have compared so much that they cannot just pick one. They cannot just figure out one. It is so difficult for them. Now, it is because the eyes can never be satisfied, you know, And so it is not yet enough. And those who are married, and those who are married also have seen enough. They've seen enough ladies. Hello, Brother Paul. It's a pleasure to see you here today. You know that it's not the right time that we start the program, but we just have to do it early because we will be going out soon so that everybody can have it. All right. I was saying about men that it is not for those who are married, they have seen so much. After they eventually find a woman that they really love, by the time they put the woman, beside them at home, when they go out again, they see another woman that is also nice, and also looking much more beautiful than the one they put in the house, and they say, "Hey, why did I not wait? Why did I?" Meaningless, useless. Life is all useless. That's what Ecclesiastes says. All right. Okay, because even the eyes cannot be satisfied. Our ears also can never hear enough. What has happened before will happen again. What has been done before will be done again. So, many people see some high buildings being built today. Say, wow, this is magnificent. This is beautiful. This is excellent. But the truth of the matter is, it is because many of us are just seeing this kind of thing. What you are seeing today has been in existence before, somewhere, at some particular time. Some civilizations have done what we are doing now before, but in a different way. It is all the same. It is all coming as in a cycle. Let's talk about fashion, for example. Fashion also comes in cycles. In cycles. When we are growing up, we youths, we began to wear what they call bellman. For as men, a bellman trousers, was slim. It's what they call slim fit. Okay, bellman trousers, is slim. Okay, and the tip, where the ankle is small. Okay, it is not wide. Okay, it is just straight, what we call straight cut today. All right, for men. All right, and when I look at it back in those days, they have worn this kind of fashion before. It is all the same. They're just coming back in cycles. The same thing also with bell bottom as well, whereby the tip of the ankle is a bit wide. Okay, today is what they call boot cut. It is the same. You just give it a different name. It is useless. Life is useless. It is all the same. It's just coming back in phases. So we cannot claim to know too much. We cannot claim to be an epitome of knowledge. All right. What we know now, somebody has known it before. In fact, it's what we have read or what we have experienced or what we have read somewhere that we are just putting up there as a knowledge and claiming I'm a star, I'm a scholar, I'm an expert in this, I'm an expert in that. All right. So it's all useless. Everything has happened before and is happening again and will still happen in the future. All right. So Ecclesiastes says there is nothing new in the whole world. Look, they say, here is something new, but no, it has all happened before. Okay, it has all happened before. Long before we were born, no one remembers what has happened in the past, and no one in days to come we will remember what happened between now and then. Now that is Ecclesiastes for you. Okay. Now why did I go into Ecclesiastes? I went there because I tried to uh, substantiate my claim that what is life and what is the meaning of life, they look similar, but they are quite different. When we say what is life, we're actually looking at the broad perspective, the whole concept, the whole makeup of what life is all about. But when we look at what is the meaning of life, we're actually looking at it from the perspective of what we are going through, our situations, all right, and we try to associate it. We are trying to find the meaning of life from our own perspective, our own situations. Okay, now, what is life? What's life? To answer that question, what is life? Now I'm talking about the whole concept. Okay, I still have a problem again. Why? Good. It is a philosophical question. When I say a philosophical question, I try to find the meaning of a philosophical question. For those who don't know, according to a professor of ethics, a professor of philosophy and ethics, at the University of Oxford, called Luciano Floridi. He said, philosophical questions are those whose answers are in principle open to informed, rational, and honest disagreement, ultimate but not absolute, closed under further questioning, possibly constrained by empirical and logical mathematical resources, but requiring noetic resources to be answered. Okay, I'll try and break all these definitions so that we can really understand. Okay. All right. Now, what he's saying is this. Now, when we look at a philosophical question, such as what is life, we are going to be looking at it from principles of life. Okay? So for the next weeks, oh, sorry about that. I guess the network just went off. Okay. For the next few weeks, we'll be exploring what life is all about. We'll be looking at principles of life. So we are going to be open to informed knowledge. Informed means well sought out knowledge that is based on facts, experiences, wisdom, science, observation, and things like that. Okay? Now, so, and we will try as much as possible to be rational. We are going to agree, we are going to disagree, because it is difficult to look at to say life is one thing. All right. So, also we are going to look at it in its ultimate sense, what life is all about. Okay, in its ideal sense. Okay. We are going to look at it. We are going to scrutinize it. We are going to ask further questions based on what we have been asking. We are going to look at the empirical and logical reasoning, empirical and logical reasoning based on what life is all about. And also, it is not going to be an emotional thing, it's going to be an intellectual thing. So this is why we are not going to be based on probably religion, or based on culture, based on the lifestyle of people. It's going to be all encompassing, looking at life from different angles, from different perspectives. So, and it will not just be from us. That is why we're going to connect with different people. As I'll be sharing, I'll be also connecting with people. We're going to be doing a live broadcast, inviting people, and we're going to be talking about this matter together, because um, life cannot be based on one man's show. Okay, it can't be based on one man's opinion or one man's understanding alone. All right, because life has been in existence before men were in existence. Okay, before creation, before what you see in existence. Okay, and that is why I said it is not something that we can base on just one reasoning. So we are going to try as much as possible to explore. Okay, we're going to look at what life is and what life is not. Okay, we're going to look at different areas of life, and we are going to try to find meanings to life. We're going to ensure that at the end of the whole thing, we are able to say, okay, well, I have challenged myself well enough. But it doesn't mean that later on in the future, you not ask yourself the same question: what is life? Because I tell you, life is in circles. It's in cycles. All right. We keep knowing, we keep assessing, we keep trying to find meaning to life. So it doesn't stop there. So, all right. Now, I want to give us a quick definition from one of the scholars that I have read from. Okay. And he said, okay, his name is, he's a professor of medicine and developmental biology in New Jersey. All right. He said, life is the aspect of existence that processes, acts, reacts, evaluates, and evolves through growth. All right. So life is the aspect of existence, that processes, acts, reacts, evaluates, and evolves. Okay, that means through growth. Okay, that means life is not static. That means life is not, in one place. Life cannot be fixed in a vacuum. It cannot be still. In fact, if it is still, it is not life. Because to understand life, you have to understand motion. You have to understand fluidity. You have to understand that life, to say something it has life, it means it has to continue to rotate. It has to continue to move. In fact, when I was in secondary school, and we wanted to look at what are the what What are the characteristics of living things? We understand. We put it as an acronym. We said Mr. Niger D. All right. So M is for movement. Okay. R for respiration. N for nutrition. I for irritability. G for growth. E for excretion. And R for reproduction. Then D for death. Now, when we were young, we were made to know that for something to be alive, for something to have life, it must move. It must move. But you see, trees are always standing in one place. It doesn't move. So how do you mean that things can say yes? Trees have life because yes, it can be rooted in one place. It may not be traveling from Lagos to what's it called, South Africa. No, but where it still moves. You know, it still moves. It has different ways at which it moves. The way we human beings, other animals move is quite different from the way that they move. All right. Okay. When the wind blows, they still move. Okay. And also, uh, you know, so that is the meaning actually. That is what life is all about. Life is about movement. Okay. Now, from this definition, it says that life is the aspect of existence that processes. When you say something, when you say process, when you process something, the verb of it, you are actually trying to to make it to see to see the functionality of it. Okay, when you process, okay, for example, when someone tells you something, you try to process it in your mind. You try to process it in your mind. You try to understand it. You try to weigh it with reasoning. You try to compare it with what you have known or experienced before. And if you have not known it or experienced before, you try to look at how logical it is. Now, you are processing it. Okay? Now, processing it in your mind is quite different from processing. We are processing information, right? Okay? But processing in different areas could also mean something different as well. So, we say, for example, we have clothes that we wear, right? But this is not the original material. It started from somewhere, okay? That it started from wool, okay? So as an example, and wool is processed with several other things that we come to the point where we are able to where we come to the point where we are able to use it to make fabrics. Okay, that is that's what it means. All right. So if you say that something has life, that means that according to this definition, you see life is the act of existence that processes, acts, reacts, evaluates, and evolves through growth. All right. So okay, the crucial difference between life and non-life is that life uses energy for physical and conscious development. Everything that has life or that has life, should have energy, as well, or make use of energy. Okay. Now, today we are only looking at what is life. To summarize what we have done, we've tried to open it up, look at for me from the introductory part. We've tried to look at it, how different people see life. We've tried to look at it from different definitions. But the main thing is that we try to explain that what is life, it may be and may not be the same as what is the meaning to life. Okay, that it may be the same thing, but in different context. If we put it into context, what is life could mean what is the meaning of life. Now we're going to stop here today. Next week we are going to continue with this same topic. Now we will be looking at the principles of life. The principles of life. So thank you so much for joining us today. If you are joining us now, I really appreciate you for joining us. Feston Zima, Awa Sanogo, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here on the platform. If you are joining us for the first time, you are welcome. We come here every Saturday at 7 o'clock UK time. That should be 10 o'clock in Uganda. 9 o'clock in Uganda, 10 o'clock in Georgia, and also 7 o'clock also in Nigeria as well, for those who are watching us from Nigeria. So yes, it's a pleasure being here, and Esther Kuganja Adedoyi, my wife, and I always try to come here every Saturday, and we try to share with people based on different topics. This series we're looking at understanding life, and we have started it already. Next Saturday, my wife will be coming up, and then we're looking at the topic as we proceed. So please share the live broadcast with your friends, with your colleagues, with your family members. Let them also benefit from what you are benefiting from. And also, while we are in the program, write your comments. If you are confirm what we are saying, try to. If you disagree as well, the platform is open. You can also share. It's all about life as well. It's about agreeing and disagreeing as well. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bye for now.